Who saw Minnesota coming? Nobody saw Sam Darnold, the Marlboro Man, is back. Well, isn't it beautiful that you talk about all the redemption stories in the NFL and it's all former Jet quarterbacks? Man, I just had to get the hell away from here and rinse that stench off of me. And look at me now. I told you I was a baller. Now listen, if Zach Wilson ends up being a baller, I'll tell you, I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm going to be called up to Elizabeth, this is the big one. I can't believe it. They turned JetBlue baby into a player. They turned the JetBlue player into – now listen, it's just week year one of him, so it's still a lot of stench to get off of him. You know what I mean? So, let's see if Sean Payton can get the stench off of him in the future. But Geno Smith, again, had a monster day today. So, former Jet players that people had given up on said they couldn't play. You're right. They couldn't play here, but they didn't mean they couldn't play.
Well, that's a great point because Sam Darnold looked like he was never going to be a starter again after the Jets and the Panthers, and he's been lights out so far this year. So what do you think it was about him with the Jets? What went so wrong? Was it the Adam Gase thing? Was it the dysfunction of the organization? What happened in New York?
I mean, I think, you have environments matter, right? We always talk about if you ever threw one of your little circus goldfish down the toilet and they end up in the ocean, they can grow because they're not constrained. And when those guys were here, they were constrained, right? They were constrained by the fact that you didn't have a good offensive line. I mean, we took a run at Le'Veon Bell and Chris Johnson. We've taken and so they couldn't build it, right? And so the infrastructure wasn't here. So now that they have infrastructure and they were able to take a step back, he was able to kind of learn, take a step back, learn a system. And it's the same system that he left when he was in San Francisco that now he finds himself in now, right, with Kevin O'Connell. So, I mean, the funny thing is, and the crazy thing is we saw with, Baker Mayfield too. Baker Mayfield went somewhere he didn't have the pressure. He became like the underdog like he always thrived in. It's always a tough time when an underdog becomes like a favorite. They don't know how to live in that world, right? So now he went back and he was the underdog. He went out to the Rams. He knew he wasn't there for a long time. And look at him. He can play quarterback all of a sudden. The crazy thing is Sam Darnold probably would be the best replacement for Tua Tagavailoa. When you look at the fact that eventually, if whether Tua plays again, we're talking about one big hit. That wasn't even a hard hit. One hit, and I don't know if the NFL would clear Tua after this. But you talk about a guy who's performing well in this system. Sam Darnold's performing well in this system. Sam Darnold's a guy that I don't know if you have to pay the insurance money for Sam Darnold, for Tua Tagovailoa, or how you work that contract out where he get his guarantees. But a guy like Sam Darnold is just looking for a spot. He's looking for a happy space because we know JJ McCarthy is the future in Minnesota. So this is an audition for him. So I can see Sam Darnold being the hottest free agent out there this year. But if I'm Sam Darnold, do you want to go to the Giants where it's a system that you don't know, but it's going to be a spot and it's New York? Do you want to go back to New York? Or do you want to go to a place that has an innovative play caller that has two great pass catchers and two runners that can hit their head on the goalpost at any time? So I see this happening before it even happens. I can see Sam Darnold as the starting quarterback within this division and being one of the young and potentially one of the top quarterbacks in this division in Miami next year. I don't know if the Jets see that, but I can see him easily because it's such a natural fit because he would know the verbiage, he would know the concepts, and he has the weapons and the coach. You could arguably say that maybe McDaniels is a more innovative mind than Kevin O'Connell.
Ooh, okay. So you can put the dominoes in and see them falling to where Sam Darnold is the starting quarterback next year of the Miami Dolphins. That's what.
Ain't that why you bring me on here? You don't bring me on here. Talk about what happened. I'm trying to tell you the future, right? You don't tell me to come here so I can talk about all this. Now watch when all these other people start, they start hearing rumblings of what I just said. Watch they start picking up on a national thing. How many times have I said something and everybody else hear it and they act like they don't know what they heard?
All the time when you and I were together on CBS, happened all of the time.